Hey everybody, welcome to Building a Business with Savannah and Jon. We are, about 4 weeks into Freddy Media, and today we want to talk about creator-led businesses. And so this is something Savannah and I talk about all the time, and we basically tell this story best through hats. This week, we actually purchased probably the best piece of influencer merch on internet history, but Pookie and Jett are famous influencers on TikTok and Instagram. I actually don't even like the way this hat looks, but effectively they went viral for, being affectionate to each other. It's like a husband and wife couple. They built a brand. He's a very sophisticated guy. He was number one in his class at University of Georgia. He went to Wharton, did both law and an MBA. And effectively, this guy seems to have been able to cut out of the corporate M&A world and just create content. And in doing so, they've created a fashion line. The fashion company is called Quintessential. Originally, they did a merch drop. And, the guy, Jett, all he does is he calls his wife Pookie, like an affectionate name. So he made a hat with an American flag. It says Pookie on it. Kind of not the best hat I've ever had. But the good news, Savannah, is it was $50. So what do you think of that?
Well, I think it's interesting because their whole thing is doing these outfit reviews. What's your outfit of the day? And he's always wearing what kind of boots?
I don't know.
Casey. Every time. And he says exactly what color leather they are. He's got it down. He's got his Page jeans on, right? Every time you watch these videos, you know exactly what he's going to say. And then comes her outfit and he just goes crazy about everything she's wearing. And it's so cringy and almost uncomfortable that they went viral. And now they've built this whole business. And the name of the business is after, what he always calls her, both Pookie and Essential Outfits.
What do you think of them? Are they likable? I think they're very likable.
I think they're so likable because of the way that they look at each other. And as cringy as it is, it's really sweet. And I think the other piece around their merch that's interesting is you're wearing the hat and I'm not.
Weird.
Because when I went on, it was
red flag on me.
Yes. And so I think that they've done a great job of driving demand and they're always highlighting other brands. And so why not go ahead and make their own?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we do that a lot, Savannah, where you and I will work with an influencer to drive inbound demand for another brand. But then you and I always talk aspirationally. And actually, we've done it in a few cases like Russ's sales training, where we can use Russ to promote his own sales trading, get a lead for it, and sell the engagement. So it is always better to kind of own your own business, write your own ticket, I suppose. But you have a merch background. You actually are kind of like a sophisticated fashion person. What do you think of this hat? Do you like it?
I like that one better than the other.
It's like it's kind of like a game day backwards hat, in my opinion.
Definitely a game day hat. And if you look, they recently wore it to game day and their outfits were around it. I'm really picky about hats. And so when I come down to Jacksonville, I'm going to have to snag it and see. But I think that as a design, the other one was I don't shop, I buy.
Oh, that was good.
I buy. And so I didn't love the designs of it, but they sold out and you paid $50 for that hat.
That's the important thing. And that's really what we're here to highlight. They sold out. The thing cost $50. It all defies gravity. It doesn't make sense. Nobody should pay this for the hat, but we're thankful to have it.
There's another piece around what they did too, is they didn't do a pre-order where we see that with so many creators because they don't want the overhead and they do the pre-orders. And I have a friend's business that does that exclusively because you ordered that last week and it came in time.
The moment I saw it, I needed something to talk about on this podcast. So I bought it immediately.
And the fact that it came that quickly, they had so much confidence in themselves. So it's going to be interesting with our creators, what route we go. I think the pre-order business is great, but I also love the fact that you had that product right away.
Yeah. Let's flip it. What would you do with Pookie and Jett if they were clients of Freddy Media? They'd be the best clients. If they're listening, Jett, I know you don't reply to my DMs on LinkedIn, but you should. Savannah, what would you do if they were our clients?
Well, first I'd get him to respond to you because everyone does. I feel like I give you a daily LinkedIn challenge and you always nail it. So first, Jett, you're missing out. And I would take it from, yes, they've built an incredible business talking about fashion, traveling all over and just like loving on each other. That's great. But they're also very, very smart. He's got a great background. I think that we leverage that, make it more about Jett for a moment, and Pookie support him in that, and business around kind of the M&A and financial side, because we're missing that.
This is exactly where I was going with it. So Jett he was doing dental roll-ups. So like a serious M&A biz dev guy with obviously like brains dripping out of his ears. So he's a very smart guy, but he also has a look and kind of a curated style. So I think that if he was our client, I would like to publish a mergers and acquisitions newsletter, a website, create a podcast where Jett is kind of a little bit of lifestyle with finance and M&A, because ultimately, like, that guy is going to talk college football. There's no way around it. And he's going to talk about like deals that are going down, how to structure a deal. And I think without even trying, that guy could stumble into a super valuable media asset that would be great for advertising, but also captive professional services products like executive placement or legal services. Like, what does the M&A business need? I think that's what we could publish around. But Jett, if you're listening, sign up as a client of Freddy Media. You'd be the perfect stepbrother to Russ Flips Whips. But Savannah, why don't we move on? Let's talk about another hat. Enough of Pookie and Jett, but that was the best $50 I ever spent. I had the privilege last week to fly up to Pittsburgh by way of Teterboro, New Jersey, and I got to see my buddy Andrew Glaser, who runs Vantage Auto. So Andrew has an independent wholesale dealership, and forever Andrew was kind of like the best wholesaler, and his volume, I think he does over 3,000 cars a year wholesale. So his wholesale volume is incredible. And then he's a creative guy who like can't sit still, probably the funniest guy I've ever hung out with. And he's just hit on a niche. He found that old cars, low miles, are getting a serious premium. First of all, they can be bought certain places if you know where to look, but then they're getting a serious premium on the automotive market. And then another thing he hit on is when you take a 2001 Tacoma with 13 miles on it and you put it on Instagram, the damn thing gets 1 million views on Instagram. And then in turn, celebrities reach out and buy those cars. So Andrew's figured out that ultra high net worth individuals that want kind of that ultra luxury appeal, they like old cars with low miles.
And we're talking old cars like an old 4Runner from the 90s with maybe 500 miles on it. But then he's built this like ultra luxury brand, which, you really can see that in the logo on the hat. It's timeless, but we're not shouting like used car lot. We're talking very high profile clientele.
It's so high profile, Savannah. Like, his showroom abuts Teterboro Airport in New Jersey, which is probably the busiest private airport in America. I had no idea. I had never heard of Teterboro until 3 days ago. I'm talking like I'm an expert. But like, so people fly in on a private plane to check out the cars. That's what I'm getting at. It's just really neat. Pardon me?
Buy an old Ford Explorer.
Yeah, so like
off the factory line.
But you and I both were in the car business, and wasn't it the most thrilling thing in the world to find an old car with low miles that was super clean? Like, little old lady, she bought a Wrangler to go get the mail at the end of the driveway, and 20 years old, it only has 2,000 miles. That is the best when you stumble upon it. And I think back, I rack my brain, that single cab Tacoma I should have bought. The red Carrera 911 I like stole as a trade. I should have bought that. Like, those things are really cool.
Where some may be thinking, hey, it's so old, I may not be able to finance it. They may not see the value in what Andrew is, but he's transformed that into a very successful business.
Then, yeah, Andrew's making money. We all love Andrew, but I think he has a shot to become a serious media player. And he's cut a pilot with a pretty, sophisticated media group. And Andrew's got such a personality that I really believe that he could become something really special in digital media. So let's see how far he can take it. But Savannah, with us at Freddy Media, should we do some merch? And if we do, what do you think we should do?
I love a good simple trucker.
Like
And I
this?
love so here's another good example of very minimalist. You don't know what it is, right? Kind of same thing of when people are asking what's Freddy Media, you don't know, you got to talk to us. You got to ask about it, right? But
Ooh.
something that's ambiguous. We're not just, a car, right? But this is a car, but doesn't that also kind of look like mountains?
Yeah, no, that's wispy. It's nice. It's pretty cool.
So I think, what would we wear? What would we do? And love to hear from others. But I think it's really building these ideas out and working with some of our clients this week. It's interesting. A lot of them are playing into the nostalgia.
Ooh, I have a good angle on this too. If you go to a trade show, imagine we were going to SEMA this week instead of doing Russ Flip Swips training at Hyundai of St. Augustine. Is it cringy to everybody wear the merch of your company, or you should go there dressed as an adult wearing business clothes? What should you do?
Cringy example, but this year at Car Week, I saw a guy in a linen suit and it was just printed over and over again with his logo. And it was so obnoxious, but it was a very well-made suit.
Oh, so you like it?
Well, okay, it caught my attention. You couldn't miss them. And in every single photo, you knew, you could see it, right? But I feel like there's very beautiful ways to bring your brand into your outfit without it being tacky.
Last year at NADA, I had some lady in Ponte Vedra make me a suit, but we were doing identity reveal for car dealership guy. It was a big thing. And then I thought after that, I didn't need a suit. I should have been a little more casual, because ultimately we're a media business, not a bank. So I don't think I'll go suit next time.
I feel like I would go suit. And I love that we're using red. So we're going full power suit. And then we have just a small accent of a very cool embroidery of our logo. Not the words, just the shapes.
Yeah.
And it's simple.
Well, by default, Savannah, you're in charge of all things fashion and color. I'm colorblind and clueless in fashion. So I think we'll get it figured out by NADA.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Savannah. We'll auction off the Pookie hat to whoever gives the most comments. And I hope everybody has a great day.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.